everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this is something a little bit different now. I'm recording on my computer rather than my phone because the computer gives me full screen instead of that little slit like on the phone. But quite a lot of you have really liked my little sign language shorts. You're doing the alphabet and the numbers. So I thought to myself, hang on a minute, if I can help people to understand sign language a little bit better, that might just mean, deaf people are getting a little bit more involved and included in conversations. So I thought, although I'm not a teacher, I'm not a teacher by any means. Although, would you call me a teacher since I teach my kids at home? Probably. But anyway, but what I mean is I am not qualified to give out certificates or anything like that. I have done my level 1 and my level 2. But I just want to share what I've learned. And by all means, any deaf person out there who uses sign language more frequently than I do, feel free to correct me or even add suggestions if you want to. But I just want to share what I've learned so far. Not everything will be correct because sign language is constantly changing, just like the English language is constantly adapting. So does sign language. So there'll be new versions or things to be updated, which I might still have the old school version of. Feel free to correct me. But yeah, I thought I'd do like a little like playlist of sign language. So that if you wanted to learn it, just for the sake of learning it, maybe you've got a family member who is having real problems with hearing and feeling involved in conversations, this might be a good way to help them. So I'll start with lesson number 1 then, okay? And yes, I have done it split it into little lessons because this is how I taught my kids. So we're going to start with the alphabet and how to introduce yourself. So the alphabet, all you need to know is the vowels are all on one hand. I hope you can see my hand because my background is grey. Because it's so dismal, it just looks like my hands melt into the background. So I hope you can see my hands. Now, it doesn't matter which hand you use. You can use either. You can use both at the same time. And I'll show you what I mean by that as we go on. But your vowels are all on one hand. A, E, I, O, U. There we go. And that is all your vowels on one hand. Now, typically, if you're right-handed, you tend to use that as your like pen to point to the vowels that you want to use. If you're left-handed, like that. I will flip this so that it looks correct. Because at the moment when I'm watching it, this is my right hand, but to me it looks like left. But yeah, this is my right hand. This is my right hand. So I'm a right-handed person, so this is my pen, and this is my paper. So let's start with the alphabet. So your first vowel, A, and then the next one is B, like binoculars, B. Then you've got C, D. Then back to vowels, E, F, G, H, like karate, hiya, H. And then I, back to your vowels, I. Then from the I, round and down to the thumb, that's J. And then K. And then L. M is 3 fingers. N is 2 fingers. And then O is your ring finger, like, ooh. Like, look at that big diamond there. It's not actually a diamond. I think it's like cubic zirconia. If that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, like, ooh. So that's how you remember that's the And then P, like you're pinching the end of your finger, P. Hang on. There you go. Sorry. I had something in my finger then. Hang on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. Q, like that. You see, like that. So you just get a hook and you pull the O down. That's Q. And then R, like that. Now, a lot of people find it difficult to twist their wrist to do the R. So you can do it that way as well if you want. Just as long as you've got the R shape, the deaf person will know what you're trying to spell. So R or R. And then S. Now, when I was taught, you could do it like that. But all my life, since I learned sign language, I've just done that and touched it. Because it's easier when you're finger spelling. So I just touched it. So you can do that, but I prefer to do that and just touch the F. So it's the little pinky F. And then T. It doesn't matter where you do the T. T. Some people do it like that. Some people do it like that. T. And then back to you, the last vowel, then V. W. X. Y. Y is like, I don't know if you can see the shape of the Y. It's flipped. So I'm like, so if you can see the shape of the Y, like that, so you just stroke your thumb. Y. And then I know this doesn't look like a Z, but it's Z. So Z. Some people do it like that, some people do it like that. I tend to do it like that. Z. There you go. And if you're from my generation in the 80s, you'll probably want to finish off that alphabet with the song. Now I know my ABCs. I can never ever do the alphabet without singing the rest of that song. It's just a habit at this point. Right, so that is the alphabet. So I'm now going to teach you how you introduce yourself, your name. So when you meet a deaf person for the very first time, you have to finger spell your name. So for example, my name is Jennifer. So my name would be Jennifer. Jennifer. Now, what you might not realize is that because it's a pain having to finger spell the name of someone every single time. So unless you're only meeting them that one time, then they'll probably just finger spell. But if you're going to meet them over and over again, if you're trying to build a friendship with the person, then you come up with what's called a sign name. And normally it's a deaf person that will give it to you because it's something about maybe your features, a quality you're well known for, or a hobby that you particularly like and you're well known to like. So, for example, I absolutely love me sparkles. I am well known throughout all of my friends and family that I'm a magpie. I love sparkly stuff. So that's my name, Sparkles. So that's my name. So if I was meeting a friend, I would go, and they wanted to say, "Hey Jennifer," they'd go, "Hi Jennifer," like that, instead of spelling my name. So it's the same thing. But like I said, if you're meeting them for the first time, you need to finger spell it first, and then if you have a sign name, let them know what it is. Otherwise, ask them to assign you one. They're quite happy to do that. So what you would do is you would go my, so big fist, my, and then you get two fingers and you go name. And in sign language, in British Sign Language, there is a difference between SSE and BSL. There's a difference between the two. In BSL, which is the official recognised sign language for the UK, there's words that don't have a sign with it. For example, is, it, in, and, but. Do you know what I mean? They don't have a sign action, a word assigned to that. Hand gesture assigned to that word. They don't have that. So when I go my name, I'm just doing that. That's it. My name, and then I finger spell my name. So my name, Jennifer, like that. Sign name, Jennifer. So there you go. That's how you introduce yourself to someone for the first time. But like I said, most deaf people are pretty easygoing and it's fine. I'll just call you Jennifer. It's fine. So there we go. So now we're going to move on to numbers. So the sign for numbers is numbers. It also means maths. Some signs, some actions can have more than one word attached to them. So that's numbers, but it also means math as well. Math. So numbers, very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you see the shape of the 6? 6. 7, like 007. James Bond. 8. Now there's two ways you can do 9. You can either do 9 like this, which is the way I tend to do it. The other way is this way, but I can't keep my finger like that without holding it. My daughter can, she can do it. She can, like, I can't. I look like I've got something wrong with me. I can't hold my finger down, but that's 9 as well. But I prefer to do that one because that was just easier for me. So that's 9. And then 10 is you flick it away. 10. But this sign, 10, also has other meanings to it, which we will get to in another lesson. But we will get to that. But that has another meaning. But for now, let's just get the numbers into the head because sign language is a whole different world. So it might take your brain a while to adjust to it. So don't be upset if you don't get it all in one go. It does take practice. Just take a little bit of practice. So yeah, so that's 10. Then you've got 11, 12, and then the teens are the same numbers again, except you shake them. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 or 19. And then 20, like 2 and a 0, 21, 22, 23, etc. You get the idea there. So you just keep going right all the way up until you hit the hundreds. And 100 is 100 under there like that. 100. But it also means son or stranger. So you do have to say the words that you mean, because that's what deaf people generally tend to rely on. Lip reading, an awful lot of their understanding of a conversation comes from lip reading as well as sign and body language and face expressions. So when you're doing the sign, make sure you say what sign you're doing. So instead of me going, stranger, 1, 2, 3, I'd go 100, 100 and 1, 102, 103, etc. So that's 100. And then you've got the 1,000, which is the thumb. So you go 1,000 because that's like the comma, isn't it? The 1 and then a comma, and then you do the zeros. That's what that is, the comma. So 1,000, 2,000, or 1,200. If I had that much money, I would be made up. We don't have that much money. But yeah, so that's how numbers work in sign language. And I've never really needed to get to the millions, but just in case, million like that. It's the M, million, etc. If you want to know what trillion and bazillion or whatever, go look that up yourself. Because I didn't get that far. So now that you know numbers, you can also let someone know how old you are as well. So the sign for age is age. You just tap your nose. It also means teenager as well, a teenager. So if someone's asking you how old you are, you go, me, age, and then you do your age from your nose. So like, for example, I'm 35, 36 soon. So yeah, I'm 35, like that. And that's how you do it. If you're 12, you'd go 12. 12. You always do it from your nose. That's where the age is. I don't know why. I don't know why. No one ever explained that to me. But there you go. So that's how you introduce yourself and how you can let someone know how old you are. So now we're going to stay with numbers, but we're going to do time. Okay? How often do you use time in a day? It's like, it's 1 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock. So let's do some time. So your o'clocks, you just twist them all. So for example, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So whatever number it is, you just twist it. And it's the same 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 9 o'clock. Just twist it for o'clocks. So it's the same sign numbers, you just twist them for o'clocks. Half past are half past. So you're just doing half the clock. Half. So half past. And then there's quarter past and quarter to. So you do quarter past and quarter to, like that. Like I said, I am going to flip it so that it looks correct. So quarter past, because I'm doing it to my right. So quarter past. Quarter to is to the left, like you would on a clock. Quarter past is at the 3, and quarter to is at the 9. So you do quarter to, quarter past. You're just basically doing like almost like you're drawing the quarters on the clock itself. That's all you need to do. So that's time. Pretty simple. Pretty simple if you've got the numbers down. So, what about questions? You use a lot of questions in sentences. So, let's have a look at question sign. So, to ask someone, can I ask you a question? You just say, question. So you draw the question mark. Question. And it's in your face. Can I ask you, please? Question. And if they go, yeah, what's up? And then you can ask whatever question it is. But you may have heard that a lot of the questions go on the end of the sentence. So, for example, what does that do? Instead, they do it backwards. They go, do what? It's very, very simple. What British Sign Language does is it gets rid of all the superfluous words, the extra word. It just gets straight to the point. They don't beat about the bush, deaf people, like that. So here's the question sign. What? Turn it around so that the nail is facing away from you, and that becomes who. So what? Who? Where? Like, where's he gone? When? Like, when are you going to be finished already? We're bored now. When? That's when. Which? Like that. Like, which one do you want? Do you want the lemonade or the Coke? Which one? Which? And then the last one is why. Why? It can also be a substitute for because as well. Why? So, like, when you're trying to explain something, you go, I like that. Why? And then, so it's sort of like a substitute for because. I like that because. So that's what we use that for. I'm sorry I'm moving around so much. It's just, I've got bad hips, so I have to constantly move. Welcome to the... There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. So now the last question is how. There's 2 different kinds. There's how as in how does that work? Then it's also how as in how are you? So I'll show you the one for how does that work? How? Some people do it that way. So if you do see that, you'll know what it means. It's basically just that, the W. How? So that's more for how does that work? How do I do that? The other one, like how are you, is more about health and your body and how you're feeling. So it goes from the chest. So you stroke upwards and then go into thumb. And the question is always in your face. So for example, if you're concerned about somebody, like, how are you? You can see in my face, the eyebrows are down and I'm concerned. So when you do that, instead of just going very blank, you use your face a lot more. So you go, how are you? Or, you okay? You okay? And the other person will go, I'm fine. I'm good. So it's like stroking upwards and then into a thumb. You can use one hand or you can use both. And the question is always on your face. So, and half of you won't realize, but whether you're hearing or deaf, you use your face so much. So The only reason why it might seem more difficult now to use your face is because you're aware of it. When you're not aware of it, you're gesturing and face expressions are all over the place. So, but deaf people love people like that because they're full of expression, and we really, really like those kinds of people because it's much better to interact with. They're very visual. So that's the difference between the two hows. So now let's do some family signs because they're the ones you're going to be with the most. They're the ones you're going to be using the names for the most, like mummy and daddy and things like that. So the sign for family is family, like that. That's your family. Mum, dad, brother, sister, baby, whatever, or dog. Family. Some people do the F and do family. I prefer to do that one. Family. Then there's mummy, mummy, or you can just do the M. Mummy, mummy, like that. And then there's daddy, daddy, or father, if you're very posh, or papa, if you prefer. So daddy or daddy. I tend to do this one because it just looks more like the D in the daddy, daddy. But it also means daughter as well. So like I said before, you have to make sure you say which one you mean. I'll show you an example. I'm going to say daddy and daughter. Watch my lips. Even as a hearing person, you will see the difference. Are you ready? Daddy, daughter. Very different lip pattern. Daddy is wider. Daughter is more shrunken in and more like an O looking shape. So even as a hearing person, you can lip read if you chose to. But yeah, that's why it's important to say what sign you're using. Daddy, daughter, like that. Now the next one is the one we did before, 100, but it also means son, son. So you'd say, my son, how old? 5. No, that kind of thing. So my son, that's son, but it also means um boy. It means boy as well. Like girl or boy. And you go, boy, boy, like that. But it also means stranger as well, or at least that's what I was taught. So whether or not that's changed, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, so that's 100, strange, son, and boy. That's all you need to know on that score. Right, now the next one is very easy. Baby, baby. Now, brother and sister. Some signs do have meanings behind why they're that way. And this is one of them. So brother is like this because he causes a lot of friction. Not true in all brothers, but just the vast majority out there, they cause friction. That's why that's brother. Now, sister is sister because they're nosy. And it's true, hands up, I admit it, I'm a nosy person. But yeah, that's sister. Now the next one is lady, woman, or girl, and it's the same sign. This one, meant to be for the cheek, the nice cheeks that us ladies supposedly have. I don't. I have spots on mine, but I'll take it. That's lady, girl, or woman, like that. And the sign for man is man, for the beard, man. Some people go man like that, like pulling the beard. I think that looks too painful. So man, man. Auntie and uncle are just the A and the U. Auntie, uncle, like that. Grandma is you do the M, the mum, but you put a G at the beginning, so it's grandma, granddad, like that. Niece and nephew, that's niece and that's nephew. And there's a reason behind that sign as well. I don't know if you've noticed, little boys and little girls, when they're teething, the girls, all the drool is there. Boys, it's always coming down the side. I didn't realize that until one of my deaf teachers pointed it out to me. But yeah, that's why. That's niece, girl baby when she's teething, and nephew is boys when they're teething. So there you go. I might have got that mixed up. I'll double check that. and you double check it yourself as well. But yeah, nephew and niece is related to the slobber from the teething. And the next one is grandson or granddaughter. So again, you just combine two different signs. You do granddaughter, grandson, like that. Now, the last one we're going to do is days of the week. And I wanted to do this because it's quite similar to the family signs in terms of Monday is also like that. That's why it's important you say what you're signing Monday instead of mummy. And the lip is very different. If you watch Monday, mummy, it ends with an E, a big smile, whereas Monday ends with it open. So you do begin to learn lip reading as you're learning sign language. So Monday, Tuesday, it's just the first letter pretty much of every day of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now Thursday is the TH. So it's, I know you can do T like that, but because I'm combining it with the H, I do TH. Thursday, Thursday. Friday is the F. Saturday is that one. But depending on where you are in England, so for example, in Wales, they may have Saturday or Saturday to do with the phone, weekend calls. It can be quite regional where you are. Just like Liverpool had a Liverpool accent, just like London had a London accent or Scotland had a Scottish accent. It's the same in sign language. We all have our own regional accent within the sign language. So whilst the sign language will pretty much be the same wherever we go, there will be slight variances in the signs, only slight though. If you were to go abroad, it would be very different then. Like in America, it's all one-handed. I don't know any American sign language, so do not take that as anything. But yeah, but in Britain, we use both hands. And I think in the Isle of Man and Ireland, I think they use one hand as well. I'm not too sure. I forget. Right. So, yeah. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then back to Monday. And there you go. That's the days of the weeks. But like I said, always say which sign you're using because otherwise it'll be confusing. Like, I'm your Monday. That makes no sense. Whereas I'm your mother. That makes sense. I'm not your mother. I'm not your mother. Now, the very last thing that I'm going to teach you is just some manners. This world could do with a lot more manners. Don't you agree? So I'm going to teach you how to say please and thank you. And they're both the same sign. Please, thank you. But notice I'm saying them because they're both very different. Please, thank you. So the lip pattern is very different for both. So, but if you just go, you don't know which one I'm saying. Am I saying thank you? Am I saying please? Which one? So always say what you're signing. And that is the first lesson. I hope it's okay. All I've done so far is just teach family and friends, and that's it. So this is the first for me. I did put like lessons on a few years ago. I took them all down because I just didn't have that much confidence in myself, to be honest with you. But like I said, a few comments that I've seen on different platforms have said that they enjoyed watching me do the sign. So I thought, okay, I'll do a playlist of, in case you guys wanted to just learn, because it can be quite expensive to learn sign language, which I think is terrible, especially for someone who is actually deaf. And I know I've got headphones on, but trust me, these are turned up 100% volume. I have 85% hearing loss myself, so I only hear a little bit. Without my hearing aids, I can't hear a thing, nothing. I can't hear a thing. With my hearing aids, I can get by pretty much. If I turn the volume up to 100% or more, if I can, not too bad. But it's still not great. But I can hear music and things like that. But when I don't have my hearing aids in, and a lot of the time I don't have them in because they hurt. If you have them in for a long period of time, they do hurt. They rub on your ears and they can cause scabs, bleeding, because it's painful. It's hurt. It's not a natural thing to have in your ear. And mine's made of silicone. But yeah, have I got my hearing aid? No, it's over there on the table. But I generally don't wear them when I'm at home. I don't wear them when I'm at home because my kids are loud enough. I can hear them, no problem. I could just, they stomp on the floor and I'm like, yeah, what do you want? So, but yeah, I just thought if someone out there is like me and really wants to learn but doesn't have the means to be able to go and learn, or that they have family member or a friend who is deaf and they don't want certificates, they just simply want to communicate, this might be good for you. I just want to share what I know, and if it helps, perfect. I'm made up. So I will be giving you homework to do with this if you want to, if you're serious about learning sign language. So what I'd like you to do at home is just practice your introducing yourself, practice an introduction, practice, introducing yourself, your name, your age, etc. And just start practicing about how many brothers you have, how many sisters you have, how many are in your family, etc. Just practice. And the more you practice, the easier and better it will get. It might give you a bit of a headache at first as well, for the first few weeks of learning these, because your brain is wired to thinking one way. But once you start doing this, it will be forming new synapses and new information pathways. And I go, hang on a minute, we're using this fairly often. We need to remember this. So keep at it, and the headaches will go away. They will go away. But like I said, it does depend on you, on how much you practice and on how much you actually want to learn sign language. So I waffled on enough. I will finish the lesson there and I will do lesson 2 next time. What's in lesson number 2? It's the month and a couple of generals. So that's for next time. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. And yeah, if anything that I got wrong, correct me by all means. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, that I know it all. I don't. There's always something new to learn, always, no matter what it is. But yeah, thank you very much for listening to me waffle on a bit. I'm sorry if the video is a little bit choppy or you didn't particularly like the look of it. I'm still learning. So thank you very much for sticking with me, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos and be notified for them. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this video does. I shall see you in the next one. Bye guys.